everybody. I'm Simmons. This is Philosophy for Where We Find Ourselves, April 26th, 2020. I'm joined today by my son Atticus, who is 10 years old, and he's here with us because we want to think about the idea that even in the midst of crisis, in the midst of struggle, in the midst of lack, maybe we can find a way to rethink that logic and start living into some sort of shared solidarity that yields plentitude. Now, I was encouraged to think about this because my son drew a painting. He painted a picture recently, and that picture was an inspirational moment that actually convicted me and made me think, wow, what is it that I have done to contribute to a world defined by such competition that instead of understanding power to be deployed to help those who have nothing, we instead act like power is something to be consolidated in order to reinforce one's own narrative of greatness. That needs ruptured. Right now is an especially important time to think through this sort of logic shift because we have national leaders who seem to think that it's okay to create a competitive environment where states are having to work against each other rather than creating a shared space of social solidarity in which we all find ways to carry each other's burdens so far as possible. I was inspired just last night by watching the news and seeing a farmer in Texas who had just a few extra N95 masks, and he shipped them to New York to provide for the healthcare workers there in New York. Rather than thinking he had to hold on to these in order to make sure that he was safe, he recognized that his safety is actually grounded in and encouraged by being invested in the safety and well-being of others. Atticus, I'm going to show them your painting and I want to talk about what it is you were trying to say, what you were trying to do, and then think about how we can actually learn a lesson. So Atticus, here's the painting. Describe to them what the painting is and what it says and what you were trying to do.
It says, we will find what we need. And what I mean by that is many things. And it could be, we will find a vaccine for the coronavirus. We will find the food we need to live. We'll find the water, the shelter, the home. Whatever we need, we'll find it. The picture I drew was a mouse that found a crumb of cheese. Just one little crumb he needed from a human that was eating, say, a cheese sandwich. And one crumb of the cheese hit the ground and the mouse found what he needed.
And now notice, the mouse finds the cheese because it wasn't even something that the person eating the cheese sandwich thought was worth her time to reach down and pick back up. We've let crops rot in the fields rather than providing for the food banks that are overrun. We've allowed competition to define how we understand providing personal protective equipment. And I think we can do better when we start recognizing that resourcefulness is a stimulation to think about how to make something out of nothing or how to make more out of little rather than trying to consolidate and solidify and build walls and barriers to make sure that no one else gets what we have. How is it that we start thinking about resourcefulness as finding ways to distribute what we have in order that others are able then to become part of that space where we're all able to thrive together? 10-year-olds don't see some sort of benefit to hoarding what we have and making sure that others then continue to be without. They see that as simply selfish and a failure of moral life. Maybe we should too. We will find what we need if we're able to transform our logic from one of self-protection to one of social solidarity. So thank you so much for watching. Atticus, thank you for joining me.
You're welcome.
We'll see you tomorrow.
Unless a piano falls on our heads.
Hey.